My bad, lady.
This is nah. This is it do. I understand where everybody coming from, but this is the reason why it's hard for our community to just evolve. It's just a certain look that's popular. It's a certain look that's cracking, and they use that look and put it on other things. And people like it sounded like in the beginning he loved black women. That's what it sounded like. He loved black women, so he went for black women. And it's like when I hear y'all like just go date the people that want you. I just told y'all I wanted him, but I be scared to go for men like that because I'm like, dang, he might think I'm angry because of my accent. He might think I'm aggressive because of my passion. He might not understand me. I'm nervous to even reach out to a man like that. But it's like now it sounds like it's only one thing that's that's like worth being like you gotta have the money and the look. You can't just have the money because she even said it when she tried to put her friend on with her homie. It's like, yeah, he can give you what you're worth, but she's like, nah, he ain't got the look. Now, 10 years later, if you still looking for something served on the silver platter, you're gonna be trying to double back when you see how he makes his wife feel and how she feels being with him and loving him. So yeah, it's just like I felt they pain. I felt they pain. And I used to think like that, but then like I said, after dealing with what I've been dealing with, I've just been just trying to be more empathetic towards men and let them be human and let them be emotional so they can have the right, like they can deal with stuff in a stern way. They can be like, okay, yeah, I dealt with this emotion before. I know how to deal with this. And he can be there and he can, and he don't have to cry to say what he want to say. You
And
know what I'm saying? He
you
could
know
just,
what's sorry. You know what's so scary that most of the women agree with her. That's the problem. Like it's not enough other on the other side to say, you know what, men can be human. All of them like, oh, this let's focus on attacking him for saying one little thing about her. And we just dismissed the whole conversation. We just asked him, what do you think? We asked the men, what do they think? Now they saying what they think. And now we're just trying to cover it up and say, y'all offending us. Like, let them talk, let them be human. And more black women got to speak up and say, you know what, let's listen to what the men have to say so we can fix the problem.
All right,
Man,
so
Well,
everybody need
I
to
grew
yeah,
like I
everybody
said,
because
need
I
to
it's
grew up
stand
with
people.
a
somewhere, y'all.
daddy.
Hold on,
Don't
hold
cry
on.
in front of me. My daddy ain't never cried in front of me. My uncles ain't never cried in front of me. I don't want to hear that. Go cry at the barbershop. Cause
It's
when you
different
standing in
types
front of
of
me,
men,
you
though.
got to be a man. I don't want that. I don't want no sassy man. I'm sorry. Again, I grew up with a daddy, an alpha male daddy. Don't
But
cry in
why
front of
does it
me.
have to
If you
be
want to hear your
sassy? Why
emotions,
can't it be that
I work
he's
in finance. I'm not a
traumatized?
psychologist.
But why is it called sassy? Why it can't be that he's traumatized? Why it can't
Judgment.
be that he needs to heal? Why can't it be that
And
he's
he can do all
cleansing?
of those
Why
things
can't it
without
be
being
any of
sassy.
that? Like y'all instantly go to sassy, and when y'all go to sassy, these men don't want to heal. They don't want to
He
take those
like I
steps to
said,
healing
sassy for me is
because
not
now
just
they sassy.
emotional. Sassy is a man being femininely aggressive. That's what
A,
I call
a
sassy.
man
Okay, so
expressing his
if you
opinion is not
being
feminine, though.
sassy and you well,
If he's
take it to the
dealing with a
barber shop.
woman, what do you
Take it
mean
to the men's
femininely
group.
aggressive? He's not going to be
Go for that man.
masculinely aggressive with a man, with a woman. She's a woman. Why would he be masculinely aggressive with a
No, I didn't
woman
say
when he's
math. I
dealing
said
with a woman?
femininely aggressive, sassy. Sassy just don't mean emotional. What I'm saying is a sassy man is coming to you with all of his feelings and none of his logic. Women are emotional, men are logical.
But when
If a
you
man is in
describe
his feelings,
sassy,
he is
you
not in his
specifically
logic.
said crying. You said crying and shit. You
Right.
specifically said
I
crying. And that's the
did.
reason why I responded. Because I'm
Hmm.
like, that does not mean he's sassy.
No,
That
well,
means
not crying
he's
like boo hoo, but
healing.
I'm talking about crying like
Like
Oh.
That's what
I
I
something,
mean
thought you
by
said
crying.
like
I
something's
crying
don't
just
want to
wrong.
because the
see that.
last clip
Like
of the
something's
guy was
wrong. Like
actually
he's
crying.
traumatized. Like
No,
something
no,
is really.
like I said, being sassy, being well. I'm going. You know this.
Did he
I
do
don't
that?
like none of that. Don't
Did the
don't
Man,
don't run your
rolling
neck
their
at me,
neck and
sir.
did the
tapping their
guy in the
face.
video? Did the guy in video do that?
No, no, I'm just
She's
saying in
talking about,
general. We're talking in generalities now. I'm not
Okay.
talking about that brother in the video. What I'm
So,
saying is, as a
Ah,
woman, you all are saying give these men a space to be emotional, and I think that they deserve that. They definitely deserve that. But that vulnerability has to happen amongst other men. Don't bring that to your woman because your woman is expecting you to be logical and sound and masculine.
but
But
I
if you're
and
believe
I
not
that
have to
doing that and
men.
you and
disagree
your
with
feelings,
that.
those are two
So look,
different
right.
those are two
No.
different types of
Hold
men.
on,
Look,
hold on, Lau. Go ahead, Dad. You want to respond?
I disagree with that because just like okay, so for instance, my friend she going through stuff too, and I had to tell her when you used to your daddy pay for stuff, he come through. When you get married, that's your husband's responsibility. As a woman, When you in the house with your mom, she's the empathy. She's gonna care for you. She's gonna pat your back. She's gonna wipe your tears. When you get a wife, that is what your wife is supposed to be for you. I feel like I understand where you coming from. You was in a real Hill household, but at the same time, a lot of these men are not like, you know your job. You know what you come with. You know your birth because your fathers allowed you to be emotional. They allowed you to, you feel me, like that. So yeah, your man gonna come to you and cry because he, like he said, amongst men, they gonna see that as a lick. They gonna see that as a sweet spot. Some of them might see that as because they haven't learned that yet. But with your man, you can coach him and to help him deal with his something. You know what I'm saying? But women are the spiritual soldiers. Men are the physical providers. So yeah, that his tears and all that stuff is your responsibility. And he might not deal with it with tears. He might be like, yeah, he gonna deal with his emotions based on how he was taught. But we as women, indeed, damn, we be knowing better. And it's up to us to be like, okay, I understand where you coming from, but listen, it's a way to say,
Question.
this. I understand this is your emotion, but there's a way to deal with this emotion.
And
And
that's what
that's
I'm
what you
saying.
kind of,
I
but
want
that's
my
our
man to be in his
job. That's who
logic,
we are.
but
How
I want
often
my
should a
man to be
man
in my in
cry?
his. I'm sorry.
How
As often
often
as
is
he
it
need
okay
to.
for a man to cry?
Cause
He can
once he
cry as
get it
much as
out, he
he
gonna be
wants to, but
done.
I don't
As
want to
much
see
as
no
much as he
tears.
need
I'm
to.
straight up. I'm keeping it a buck. Like I say, I live with 4 men right now. I live with my cousin. This is my grandma gave us this crib, right? They bought the house so that their grandkids could always have somewhere to live. I got tenants. I got my own apartment. Then I got my uncle and my cousin in the basement. Me and him the same age. The guys be on the porch every night having they guy conversations, and I can hear them straight out my window. Now, when they having their guy conversations, I know it. That's my time to get up out of there because this is a man conversation. This is a man space. They don't need me chiming in, telling them how I need to go and all this kind of
And
stuff
they
because
usually
these
don't
are
cry
men
in that space
helping each
either.
other get through these emotions. These are married men. Some of them are married. They got kids. One guy was over here the other night drinking, talking about screaming at the moon, talking about his baby mama. I could have went out there and told him whatever, but that was not my place because that was a male conversation. And that's what I'm saying. As women, we have to give men the space to deal with that amongst themselves because we cannot give them that logic. We cannot feed into that void like a man can. Because what we gonna do is we gonna love him, right? We gonna put him on our bosom. We gonna rub his head. We gonna kiss his forehead. He needs them men to tell him how to get through that emotional time because we can't do that as women. And I think that's why we are in this sassy man epidemic.
So
Well,
Straight
I
why
up.
agree
don't
with
you
you
why don't
both.
you just do
You
that?
both
Disagree.
are
I feel
right.
like the women in your who was in your
All right,
hood,
hold
like
on.
your uncle and your daddy, they did their job well. Cause I bet you they're not gonna tell you if they seen their men cry. But
So
based on how you said they deal with their
hold on, Sonny,
emotions, I
get Law in
guarantee you
here.
they was
Law
there
was
for
trying to
them.
get in.
Oh, sorry.
All right, go ahead, Law, and then let's get Marcus in there because he's been pretty
Yeah.
quiet.
So look, right? I'm a big proponent of this. Shut that damn crying up. I say it all the time. Look, it's a time and place for that. You cry when it's something that's out of your control, like death. You know what I'm saying? But if you run into your woman crying about every little thing, she ain't gonna be your woman much longer. You can play it all you want. And the reason why we in a sassy man epidemic is because all of these single mothers out here raising these boys saying, yeah, you can cry, baby. Tell me your feelings and all that. That's not how you raise men. Plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? Somebody disagree with me on it. Show me how many men you raised, and I'll put the men I raised up against it. Promise you, I will. You dig what I'm saying? We're raising men and kings over here. You can't sit here and complain about every problem that comes across your lap because then you're gonna be you raising a little boy in a playground that's gonna get picked on because he cry every time something happens. Right? Is that the one? Is that the son that you want in the playground? Because you can't control how other boys act with each other. This is a thing. Men know how men treat each other. Growing up, they used to say I was a little too tough on my nephew. Y'all, when you can't tell men how to act, you're preparing him how to act in other man groups. You can't be the weak one because the weak one you're gonna get ate. You know what I'm saying? So you have to build up that, you got to callous it. You got to callous that skin on a man because the world is going to come at you tenfold. And if you crying every chance you get and you whining about everything, you're going to get left behind. You see very few leaders that operate that way.